Welcome to Motherhood from the Brain, a podcast guiding moms of preteen girls on how to navigate emotional challenges that are not addressed in school. We share real stories, expert advice, and brain-based methods for handling tough moments. Discover insights to create a deeper connection with your preteen and improve your motherhood journey. Let's tackle the uncharted territory of parenting together. Hosted by professional certified coach, Esther Babazi.
Before we begin, I want to share a brief disclaimer. I am not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or any other licensed mental health professional. On this podcast, Motherhood and the Brain, I share what has personally helped me improve my mental and emotional well-being. My hope is that by sharing my experiences, I might help even one mother out there who is struggling. You're listening to the Motherhood and the Brain podcast with your host, Esther Mbabazi, episode number 39. Today, we are diving into a topic that I think many of us can relate to. The feeling of personal responsibility for our preteen's emotions and behavior. If you ever found yourself wondering, am I failing as a mom, or thinking, if my child is struggling, then I must be doing something wrong, this episode is for you, my friend. We are going to explore how our own beliefs and unconscious programming affect how we respond to our preteens, especially when we are feeling like their struggles are somehow a reflection of us. We will also talk about the pressure to keep our preteens happy and what happens when we tie our self-worth to our preteens' behavior, and how to start untangling ourselves from this pattern. So if you ever caught yourself feeling responsible for making sure your preteens are happy all the time, or wondering if their tough days mean you're failing, stay tuned. We are going to talk about why those thoughts come up and where they really come from, and how to find more freedom and confidence as a mom. So let's begin. Over time, many years, cultural and personal beliefs become ingrained in us, often becoming automatic and affecting how we interpret situations. Many moms, women, have been taught whether to implicitly or explicitly see their value in the way they caregive. Is that a word? Or in maintaining, or in the way that they maintain harmony in their families. This unconscious programming leads us as women to believe that our preteen's behavior is a direct reflection of our parenting. When your preteen misbehaves or shows any challenging emotions, these unconscious beliefs trigger guilt, shame, and self-doubt, among others. Your protective brain is wired to keep you safe, especially from threats to your self-worth and emotional security, and physical survival. So when you see your preteen's behavior as a reflection of your parenting, your brain perceives that as a threat to your role as a mom. This perception triggers a flight or fight response that can heighten stress, guilt, or frustration. This reactive response often leads you to feeling inadequate, shameful, you want to hide, feeling guilty. All these make it difficult for you to take a step back and observe and respond compassionately. For millennia, women have been brought up to think that nurturing and caregiving is all they can be seen as. Historically, a woman's worth was closely tied to how well she fulfilled her role within the family. Today, even though these societal expectations have somehow evolved, but there are some residual perceptions. There are some subtle subtle remnants, causing many women to feel responsible for not only their child's well-being, but also for their child's behavior. This historical pressure can amplify the belief that a good mother is the one whose children are always well-behaved, compliant, and smiling. Together, these factors make it easy to fall into a pattern of taking responsibility for your preteen's behavior and tying it to your own self-worth. Our preteens experience a full spectrum of human emotions, just like us, the adults. Our preteens go through sadness, frustration, excitement, anger, joy, and often unpredictably. These emotions are normal, they are natural, they are biological, and they are essential for their development. When we unconsciously see our preteens' emotions as reflections of our success or failure as moms, we feel pressure to fix or to control how they feel. And it's no wonder this response stems from the unconscious programming that many of us are carrying around and the protective brain patterns that tell us that a good mom keeps her children happy. So without realizing it, we can get overly involved in managing our preteens' emotions. We strive to make them feel happy so that we feel validated, successful, and free from guilt. However, our preteens' emotions aren't personal. They are not a reflection of whether you are good or not a good mother. They are a natural part of your preteen's growth. When you recognize this, you can support your preteen in navigating their emotions without letting that define you as a mother. With this awareness, you create more space to respond from a place of compassion, both to yourself and to your preteen, helping you build a balanced, well-connected relationship where you model resilience, patience, self-compassion, rather than identifying with their experiences. When you understand this shift will allow you to approach your role with self-assurance, knowing that supporting your preteen means helping them through emotions that they are going through and not trying to erase those emotions for them. Self-compassion allows you, the mom, to approach motherhood with kindness towards yourself, first of all. When you notice thoughts like, oh, I must be failing as a mom, or I should be doing better, when you treat yourself with kindness and grace, you recognize that this is just a natural occurrence. Thoughts like that will come up in your brain as a natural thing. It is not a personal attack on you that those thoughts are coming up. It is just unconscious programming. Your brain is just doing what it does best, bringing up thoughts and identifying things that it perceives as harmful both to you and to your child. These kinds of responses, I must be failing as a mother, my children should be doing better, why are they behaving like this? These kinds of reactions and responses are shaped by years of unconscious programming. They don't mean anything until you make them mean something. With self-compassion, instead of being critical, you can pause and treat yourself with the same understanding that you would extend to your friend's child or neighbor. With compassion, when your child comes home and they have had a fight with their group of friends at school, you understand, instead of rushing to solve it for them, instead of rushing to make them feel better, which does not work. Trust me, I have tried this. It does not work. Instead of rushing to go and make it go away and want to solve it for them, you sit back and ask yourself, what is going on here? Why do I feel the need to go and solve this for her or him? What is going on here? And this does not mean that when things like bullying and teasing are happening, that you just sit back and start wondering. No. But when you sit back and clean up yourself, that is what we call it in coaching, in coach speak. When you clean up your own thinking first, you will see more clearly what needs to be done. When you sit back and clean your own thinking, whatever your brain is throwing at you, how your brain is making it mean that because your child is sad, they came back from school and they are sad. When you understand, when you catch it, that the brain is making it mean you're failing as a mother because you're not doing enough, when you clean that out, you'll be left with a neutral space. Then you can step in and see what you can do for your child. Maybe go to the school, maybe find them help, but it starts with you. You have to detach yourself from their experience. Their experience has nothing to do with you. It has, even though it seems like that, but it has nothing. Our children have their own brains, their own thought processes, their own emotions. They go through emotions the same way that you do. It has nothing to do with you. So when you are able to detach and create space between you and what your child is going through, then you can help them. I have a person that I know, and they are a therapist, and they said that they see this all the time in therapy when parents bring children to therapy, but the parent will not let the child talk. The parent will not let the child say things. The parent keeps giving their own version of what happened. And that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing at all. But there comes a place where you need to step back and let this child and the therapist do their thing. But because, like I said, unconsciously we make things means things about us. This is what pushes us to get involved. We want to give our opinion to the therapist. We want to explain things to the therapist because we think when we do that, maybe we will not be seen as bad parents. Maybe we will be seen as parents who are, good, who are rocking this whole motherhood thing. But it is step back and detach from what is happening and view it from a bird's eye view, or sometimes I call it a 360. We do a 360. When a thought comes up, we question it. Where is this coming from? What does this mean? Why is this happening now? And when you do all this work on yourself, the mom, you will come from a clean space and you will be able to help your child because you understand that your child is a human being who is going through a human experience, something that is totally biological, totally natural. You understand that without sadness, there would be no joy. All these emotions are intertwined. We can't have one without the other. Without love, we would not have grief, or the other way around. These emotions are intertwined. We can't have only one set of emotions. They come together. It is a package. We can't only choose out the emotions that we want. That is not how it works. That is not how our brains work. The same challenges that we go through, but on a different scale, are the same challenges that our children go through. They are learning emotional resilience, they are learning heartache, they are learning sadness, anger, all these things. And in addition to that, our children's brains, our preteen's brain are not fully developed. They are under development. They are just being built up. So all these things play a role, and this has nothing to do with you. If your child is experiencing mood swings and there's nothing you can do about it because it is their brain. Their brain is being constructed. It is not yet finished, and it is faulty. It's like a switch. It is on and off. It comes on and it goes off. So that has nothing to do with you. But when we don't have awareness, then we get we get involved because we want them to feel happy. We want them to, like, we think we are doing something wrong because they are not happy. Then we get involved. And before we know it, they are slamming doors in our faces. I have been at the receiving end of this. But now I know that when they slam the door, they're asking for space. It has nothing to do with me. Their brain and nervous system is overloaded. That is their way of asking for space to kind of decongest. I don't make that mean something about me, but it's taken me work to get to this stage. It's taken me work, and I'm still coaching on it. I just had a coaching call yesterday with my coach about something with my child. I thought I knew how to handle it, but turns out I didn't. So I had a coaching call, and it was very powerful and painful and great. I felt great after. I had all this awareness that I thought I had, but I didn't. But it's taken me work, a lot of work to detach. And I have not detached in many other areas, but I have, it's a work in progress. It's a journey. It's not something that we do and we say we have done it. It's a journey. It is a lifestyle. We are learning about ourselves. We are learning about the things that we believe, the things that we are learning to see things as neutral and not just to react because my brain threw me a thought. I just take that and run with it. We are deconstructing that and breaking that down, and we are teaching our brains something new. So it takes time. It takes time. I know people who have been coaches, who have been doing this work. They still get coached on raising children and how they see things. And so there's no shame. The important thing is to get started. That is why we are here. Everybody who is doing this work wants to learn something about themselves. So there is no shame. Nobody knows everything. Can you imagine it is insane how we just have these children and we don't have, there is no classes, there is no, I went to school, I don't know, many years. I went to university for 5 years. I never had a class about how to look at thoughts, how to not believe everything your brain tells you, how to examine what you're thinking, how to question. I never heard of anything like that. And I have doctor friends and I ask them and they don't know these things. They don't. So treat yourself with kindness. You didn't know. Now you're just learning these things. And of course, it takes time. It takes time to not make what your child does mean something about you. It takes time because you're sitting on years and years of unconscious programming. So it's going to take time. It's like peeling an onion. It takes time to decompress and take those things out of your brain and then start doing what you want to do. But your child's behavior has nothing to do with you or their emotions, their volatility. Is that a word? Did I say it right? Volatility. The volatility of their emotion has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them and them starting experiencing the normal human spectrum of emotions. Be kind to yourself. Talk to you again next week. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Your time means the world to us. If you found this episode valuable, we would be immensely grateful if you could spare a moment to visit Apple Podcasts and share your thoughts through a review. Your feedback plays a vital role in helping fellow moms discover our podcast and enrich their own motherhood experiences. Take care and bye for now.